So there are some things that I still feel the same way about. I know what my eyes saw, and I know what the law is. I don't know if we're being played, right? I don't know if Dominic Williams in the club was played that night, right? But I do know this. No means no in every instance. So let's say she was quote unquote faking, right? If he didn't know that and he still continued on, then he is wrong. No means no. You must stop. Even if you think a person is pretending, let that person of their own free will and recognizance be able to say that that is what they want. So there's some things that I still feel the same way about, that she was assaulted on the dance floor. She was sexually assaulted on the dance floor. Breasts being groped, kisses on neck while she's saying no, stop. For that, he is dead wrong. Now, on the flip side, this situation is becoming just a hot, funky, stinky pile of mess. What in the hell is going on? I'm going to express this and then I'm going to get out of the video and I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to sleep good tonight. Ladies, we have got to love ourselves. Not even just ladies. No. Everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, young, old, whether it's family, friend, husband, or kin. I guess husband or enemy. I don't know. Listen. We have got to surround ourselves with people who give us life. People who make our world larger. People who elevate us and uplift us. This young lady, Jasmine, and many people like her, we need to get people in our corner who are going to help uplift us and not drag us down. I talked about this in the video that I did on how to nicely break up with friends and family. The example that I gave for you all to tell them, the analogy is like being in a well, trying to crawl your way out. And a person who is not willing to crawl for themselves is holding on to your neck and back while you're clawing onto the gravel that is slipping beneath your fingers. This young lady is going to have to surround herself with people who are down for her. And she seems really young. We don't know how old these people are, but she seems very young. And there seems like there are some things, some imbalances that are happening in this relationship, where his wife is in the hospital, allegedly clinging for her life. And he leaves the hospital. Now, spouses can stay in the hospital with their spouse overnight. Parents can stay with their children, their minor children. I don't know about adult children, but next of kin can stay with the family in the hospital room. Correct me if in some hospitals they can't stay. Please correct me on that. So he had the choice to be able to stay, as far as my knowledge exists. But he left to go hang out with some hood dudes in the quote unquote studio, bumping his beats for Facebook and rapping toxic masculinity lyrics about sex and objectifying women. This is the same foolishness that got us into this mess in the first place, women being quote unquote objects. So she's clinging for her life, and they're sitting up there talking about when his phone bill is due. Then did you hear how he said he has his wife's phone? So the child can't even call out from the damn hospital? Then he's rapping about how she was able to hold it up with the little hook on the back. So the child is in the hospital with whom? I don't know, because her damn brother and sister I know ain't there with her. Where's her mother and father? There's a lot going on here. There's the just a breakdown in this young lady's life. And this toxic man. And it's like that's how people get you. Cause like in that last video, my heart warmed for him because look, okay, I gotta respect the choice that this woman made, this young lady. But honey, listen, if you want people to be able to lift and exalt you, you have to get the dead weight off of your back, because people in an attempt to try to lift you are not going to drag themselves down because you're pulling heavy dead weight, so to speak. So we got this man and they're sitting up there talking about how there are 300 people on the live. Then that's when they decide to start, when enough people get on the live, that's when they decide to start rapping their toxic lyrics. I'm befuddled right now. I'm befuddled. I can't even think of anything else to say. There's so much swimming in my mind. My mind is one of those minds that just, lots of things just fly through my mind, just at the speed of light. So here I am, I'm thinking, what type of life has Jasmine lived? What's going on with her parents? Where are her parents? What is it that happened inside of her life that made her get hooked up with this man? And what is it that's going on inside of her life with this man? What is this man actually doing? What is the influence that he's having on the downfall of her life? They say that she's on Pornhub. Is this the person who is bringing this girl to her downfall, to bring her into situations that she may not have wanted to be in? People are saying that this man is a pimp. So then is this man pimping her? Has this woman been degraded so much sexually that she doesn't even value her own self? How did she get hooked up with him? What are the things that happened to her in her childhood that made this type of person attractive? Has this man been riding on her back and on her body and her hard work for all of this time, so that this girl is the one who is caught up in this situation where she was sexually assaulted on the dance floor? The man got her phone. He's inside the studio. How is she going to call out? Where are her parents? What if something happens to her? Suicide is a serious thing. Is she hurt? Is she okay? What about all of the other people out there who are triggered by this mess? How many other women out there are with men like him? How many men are with women who are dragging them down like him? What is the real truth of the situation? What's happening? Was she pretending on the dance floor? Was she not pretending? This guy over here, we know that we saw him assaulting her, so that is wrong. We know that we saw him take her into another room where she was screaming, "Ouch! No, stop!" So we know that that is okay. So that check, just put that in place. Okay. So what's going on with this Pornhub thing? Has this girl been turning tricks for him? Did she start out as a prostitute? Has she been trying to hold up the family through her work? Is this a part of her holding up the family right now? How much of this is he riding and milking in order for him to be able to get his stupid beats out and be able to promote his group? And he's talking about how he's been doing this. Nothing's going to stop him. Not even a near death of his wife. What the hell is going on here? Is this girl in trouble even with this man? And what is it that it's going to take to get her and other people like her out of situations like this? How does she rise up from this? What is it that I tell the people on the camera, which is a teachable moment for us here in this room? And so I guess that's what it boils down to. What is the teachable moment here? The teachable moment to me is, you know what? We don't know what other people's intentions are. We don't. However, and listen, and none of us had a perfect childhood. We didn't. But we have to do what it is that we need to do inside of ourselves, because sooner or later, the chickens come home to roost for your own life. And when you do the checks and balances of your life, what is it that you're going to say that you gave and took in exchange for the days that you exchanged on this earth? Who are you surrounding yourself with? And what is it that you're going to need to do to get your life in order without anybody else's help? So now this young lady has allegedly attempted suicide. Is this woman his cash cow? Is he riding off of her back? Is he paying? Because his phone, look, I don't know what type of plan she got, but apparently she got a plan that can stream forever. Just jumps and cuts all over his phone. He's talking about his bill is not due till the 14th. So obviously there's some sort of financial stuff going on in this man's life. This is just a hot, stinking, funky, disgusting mess that now we've been dragged into. And I want this young lady and other people like her to be okay. I want her to be okay. And I want her to use the strength that she has, because now she got other people out in the world, in her life, wherever, having her consider taking her own life from this world. And when she goes to allegedly attempt to take her life, who is there for her? Really, really, truly there for her. Who is not trying to use her for her body, her money? And this guy keeps talking about clout chasing. Now I understand. Now I understand. It's like the hit dog will holla. The hit dog will holler. Keep talking about clout chasing. I'm like, what are you talking about? But here he go with his beats, boom, 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 bumping in the background, trap rap, rapping in the background. Let me hear it in the flow, gang, gang. I don't understand this. All I know is that this has been a learning lesson for me in culture, in society, and where we are as a people, Black women, what it is that who it is that's in our corner, and what is it that we need to do to take care of ourselves. Listen, it's not easy. When you don't have support, when you out there on your own, when the world seems like a big wide place where you can't find your footing anywhere, there's still things that we have to do to safeguard ourselves anyway, to anchor ourselves anyway, to keep pulling ourselves up anyway. I remember what life was like when my mother died and I was 19 years old, and I felt lost. I felt like the world was just tilted off its axis, just floating freely in orbiting in a senseless universe with no order to it. And I remember how difficult it was to stake my foot into the ground. You know, if you think about just pushing your foot down against the friction that's pushing you the other way, and being able to just hold your footing and make sense of this senseless world. And there's some things that I can't identify with because I don't know what it's like not to have parents who have a vested interest in you. But I imagine that if you don't have the footing and the anchor, it's going to be a bit more difficult for you, but you have to find your footing anyway. And Jasmine, dear, and other people out there like Jasmine who may be attempting to find your footing, let me just tell you that you can do it. You got this. No one said it would be easy, but they did say it would be worth it. So keep pushing, keep trying, keep your head up, keep going. I know what it's like when the internet turns on you, and I know what it feels like to feel like you have no safe place that you can hide. Keep putting one foot in front of the other anyway. Keep putting one foot in front of the other anyway. You got this. You can do it. You can do it. It's not easy. It's very difficult when you don't know where you're going because you didn't really come from some place that you can go back to. Keep going forward anyway. There's life beyond what it is that we see right now. One of the things that we have to remember is that the soul is everlasting. Energy does not die, it only transfers. So keep pushing on, all of you out there. whatever it is that you're going through right now. Keep pushing on. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Tonya TKO. And I'm out. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, love yourself. And for each of us, self-love is going to look different. But one of the things that is going to stretch across the board is the act of self-care, caring for yourself, loving yourself, taking care of yourself, surrounding yourself with good energied people who invigorate your soul, people who are taking care of themselves so that you can take care of yourself, so that you don't have to be constantly putting your energy outward to take care of others. Love yourself enough to surround yourself with people who will allow you to take care of yourself, or where you have the latitude, because we can't wait for people to allow us. You have to have the latitude to be able to take care of yourself. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to sleep good tonight. I'm going to sleep good tonight because I have lived in my integrity, and I will fight for people even when they don't know that they should fight for themselves. I'm not fighting for another person for their accolade. Like, there's so many people out there, they're like, I did this and nobody gave me any thanks. Look at what I did for you. Mm-mm. If you're doing something for somebody else that really is for you, then you're doing it for you. If you're waiting for somebody to give you some thanks or some claps or some whatever, accolades, some applause, then you're doing it for you. I will advocate for those even when they don't know that they should advocate for themselves. Even when a woman does not realize that she is raped, or when a man does not realize that he's being used, I will still advocate for you. And I need and expect nothing in return. Like I said, these videos cannot be monetized on YouTube because of the controversial topic. And I speak on it anyway, because there are people who are listening. We don't know what's going on with this Jasmine situation, but there are people out there who know your own truth. And there's something in these videos that is penetrating in and sinking in to you. So these videos are of some use. And I'm hoping and praying that if Jasmine doesn't see my videos, that she sees someone's, that she gets some sort of message that'll help her pivot her life to be able to be with an air balloon instead of an anchor. Because far too many, even in the life of John Gray, we keep hearing about these women who have men who are anchored down onto them. Be with people who can be your air balloon. It's high time that we surrounded ourselves with people who are upward mobile. And on that note, I'm out of here. Listen, I love you all very much. Take care of yourselves out there. Don't depend on anybody else to do it for you. This is your life. And whether you live it or choose not to live it, this is still your life. You exchange a day in exchange for a day of your life, for the activities of that day. This is your life. What you do in it matters to you. And on that note,